think I get tired of this little intro song, but I don't. Oh, that reminds me. Sarah Bod on time as always. Okay. mostly. I'm sure something will come up and I'll be like, oh, right. That thing that I forgot to do. But, you know, for now, we here, we vibe. It is what it is. For the first day of spring, I'm freezing. Like, I'm cold. Then again, I don't know what it's been like outside. I did not do the outside today. Oh, it was pretty, it was okay. Nothing too crazy. Oh, it's gonna be hot on Friday. It's gonna rain though. Looks like out this way, Thursday might be the day to go and do the outside things. Well, it'll be high of 78. But if you're trying to get out there when it's warm before it's raining. Oh, actually, it's gonna rain Wednesday. Everyone, Blurred Syrup here, peep enthusiast, as you can see, or I guess these are just regular bunnies, but they have little cottontails on the back, so cute. Anyway, happy spring, everyone. It is officially the first day of spring. Definitely looking forward to so many things, pretty much everything about this season except allergies, because I mean, look, the pollen just truly comes out to attack. It comes to seek and destroy it, you know, all the things. But, you know, I'm looking forward to the weather. I'm looking forward to, well, I've already been eating Peeps, but now it's Peeps season officially. What other spring things? My birthday's in spring. We love that. I'm sure there are lots of other things that I cannot think of right now, but it's definitely nice to be coming out of the winter holiday. Oh, all the flowers are definitely a beautiful sight to see. And then, you know, sometimes the quiet rainy days are kind of nice too. So yeah, let me get some music going. Hopefully everyone remembered the assignment. It is due. It is the same every stream. Fear not. If you forgot, it's okay. I forgive you. You can make it up right now. That assignment is to pull up with a beverage. Today I'm chilling with my good old water. Yeah. I've been looking at my mug warmer though, like, oof. Hot chocolate would be so good right now, but I can be strong. I can be strong and hydrate myself in and do the thing. So it's me and water for a little bit, for a good little bit longer. So yeah, of course, you know, we here at the brunch, I can't even say it. We here at the Brunch Squad value a good sip and savor, anything that helps you relax and unwind, whether that be a glass of wine, a hot chocolate, you know, whatever, lemonade, some tea, whatever floats your boat. If you did not pull up with a beverage, stop what you're doing right now and go get some water. Go get some. We want you to be hydrated. You know, our body needs water, like pure water, not well, I suppose that sparkling water counts. I just don't like it. Keep your ahas and your bubblies to yourself. No thank you. Unless I am using it in a cocktail, I do not want it. But yeah, anyway, today we are headed back to the one and only Coral Island. But before we do that, of course, we're gonna start with some quizzes, because that's what we do over here. We quiz and we do things. So we're gonna go ahead and hop on into the first one. Get it? Hop. We're gonna do that right now. So this one is, tell me what you like to do on a beautiful spring day, and I match you with the perfect hobby. So let's see what they give me. Let's see. What time do you wake up? Actually, yeah. By myself, probably around somewhere between 8 and 9, but I'll say 8. Time to make an outfit. Choose a top. Ooh, we love a good outfit. Okay. Cute blouse, plain tee, graphic tee, colorful sweater, a trendy crop top, or a springy dress, or a cozy sweatshirt. Okay, the sweatshirts have been growing on me over the past year. I did not really wear them like that for a while. I do love a croppy. I do still like graphic tees, but when I tell you, they used to be like damn near all I wore. I think I'm gonna have to go for a springy dress though. I do like a dress. I do like a good dress. What about some bottoms? Yeah, I chose a dress, so none are just tights. Yep. Socks. Rainbow socks, classic socks, banana socks, short dark socks, mismatched fun socks, cozy socks, cute socks. Okay, certainly not bare feet. We know. Well, I guess it depends on the shoe. You know what? Yes, that's another thing I'm looking forward to for the spring. With these weathers going up, I can pull my ankles back out, you know, be out here in a sandal. A flip-flop, a flat. SLC, welcome in. Glad you could make it. We're doing some quizzes, big sleepover energy right now. Yeah, sprinkles. Who doesn't? Well, some people don't like sprinkles, but I mean, who doesn't like sprinkles? Like, come on, like. But usually I do go for short dark socks. If I'm wearing, well, but with this outfit, no. Okay, so this outfit I'm making is a springy dress. So most likely not going for sneakers, although I have done that before. Like if it's like a cute, like matchy moment, usually like low tops. Oh, no to shoes. Oh no, I don't do barefoot outside. I can't do it. Ugh. I have a visceral reaction to that. Like, or the somehow worse, going outside in just your socks. Like, no. You remember some folks in here who shall not be named. You know, that wouldn't surprise me all that much. Feels weird, yeah. Let's go with the sandal. Actually, hold on. I need to redo this entire quiz. Not the entire quiz, but now I feel weird because I picked a sock and now I got sandals and it does not sit right with me at all. Okay, I'm gonna run it back real quick. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick though. So 8. I said my outfit would be a dress. I don't like that it said bare feet. They could have just said no socks though. Just saying. All right, now that you're all dressed, what's for breakfast? Now we're getting to the good stuff. Eggs, bacon optional. First of all, the bacon is never optional. Where's the meat? Although okay. Do y'all consider eggs do eggs count as meat? Like, I understand that when they are fertilized and all that, like, they become an animal whose flesh that we eat, but I feel like since it is not flesh, it doesn't count as meat. But some people don't agree with that, you know what I mean? I don't know, what say you? Do eggs count as meat? Anyway, pancakes, waffles, smoothie, acai bowl, French toast, breakfast sandwich, or just coffee? French toast, baby! You count it as a protein but not a meat? Okay. What is your first activity of the day? Reading, checking social media, crafting, going for a walk, doing a jigsaw puzzle. I started a puzzle today. I've done about half of a 500 piece evolution jigsaw puzzle. I'll post a picture of it in the Discord when I'm done. We're gonna go to school, just enjoying nature, yoga. So ideally, my ideal self would either start the day with some form of yoga or going for a walk. But let's be honest, I'm checking social media first. That is what I am doing. Lunchtime, what you having? Salad? No. We do not salad. I do not salad. Lettuce is disgusting. Keep your lettuce over there away from me. Thank you. Sandwiches are okay. I tend to be pretty picky with sandwiches for the main reason that I do not lettuce, but I go for a good like panini, like the hot sandwiches are usually a good bet. Soup though. I love soup. I'm a sucker for a soup, man. Wrap, I mean, that kind of falls into the same category as sandwiches. Sushi, I don't sushi. It's a texture thing for me. Quesadilla, it's a decent option. Quiche or a bagel. I feel like these are more brunchy or breakfast foods. Lettuce is disgusting to me. Yes, I have very strong opinions about what I like and what I do not like. Yeah, I don't lettuce. I don't, no, I don't like it. It, like, literally the taste of it makes me almost want to gag. And every now and again, when the opportunity is presented to me to try it or just salad in general, I do. And I still get that feeling like, nope, this makes me want to gag. This was a terrible mistake. It's usually some low stakes thing like, work ordered lunch in or something like that. So I know, but I want my vegetables cooked. How about that? The best you can get out of me is a fruit salad. I want my veggies cooked. I do not want them like that. But anyway, okay, so I'm probably not gonna go for a quiche or a bagel because that just feels breakfast brunchy to me. So for me, it'd probably be between a soup or a quesadilla. I, I'd probably go for the quesadilla. Okay, what do you do next? So after lunch, we what? Volunteer, bake, spring cleaning, pick up litter, hang out with my pet. Oh, this is a cute picture. Play an instrument, dance, or hang out with friends. I do like to volunteer. Let me think. Making. Maybe hang out with friends. What are you having for dinner? I don't really care. Okay, so I've never been a huge burger person, partially because I don't lettuce, but I also didn't just eat a lot of red meat like as a little kid, like growing up. I definitely, you know, I have turkey burgers, and I do every now and again I'll have a regular burger. Like, it's not a huge thing for me now, but since I'm so picky, like my burgers look like what a 4-year-old wants. Okay, I want bun, meat, cheese with maybe some mayo and ketchup on them. Like, I don't that's it. Keep your vegetables to yourself. Okay, let's see. No to salad. Obs. Well, no, because it'd have the patty, like a turkey burger, or like the patty. I feel like that's what makes it a burger, the patty itself and the buns. I just don't want like the lettuce, onion. Sometimes I'm okay with tomato, but usually define seafood. I like lobster. I'm sometimes on shrimp. Like, it's alright. I don't go up for it as hard as some people do. Like, I do love a good crab cake. Yeah. Well, okay. I like fried fish, but I don't think that counts as seafood. Minus chicken of the sea. Fried fish. Okay, yeah. I fuck with fried fish. Yes. Although as I'm sure it is some southern sin, I do prefer the fillets to the bone-in fish. Don't get me wrong, the bone-in fish certainly has more flavor, and that's probably because of the bones, but y'all, ain't nobody trying to do all that work. Like, it's too much. It's too much. If it swam, it counts. Fair enough. Let's see, for dinner. Now, wait a minute. Why is rice here by itself? They need to put this curry and the rice together. Now that I could get behind. Anyway. Why would I pick? Okay, they have all these things and then a big fancy feast. Like, of course I'm gonna pick a big fancy feast. What? I don't. Okay. Dessert, anyone? Yes, please. One of everything. Thank you. Okay, we got ice cream, brownies. Okay, so SLC, I don't know if you know this, but like, there's just something about a chocolate chip cookie, especially like this, where it's like all gooey and melty and oh, so good. Okay, cake, love a good cake, pie, donuts. Oh, a milkshake. Milkshakes are like part of my summer joy or my warm weather joy. Like, if I'm just in a good ass mood, it's bright outside, I got my sunroof open, something in me's just like, and let's top it off with a milkshake. It just sets the mood. Hey, Jay Balin, welcome in. Good to see ya. Those are good. Oh yes, the gooey chocolate chip cookies. Oh, but I do cake though. Brownies. It's really between brownies, cake, and cookies for me. And this is actually really hard. Ooh, because a warm brownie. Oh, I'm having a Homer Simpson moment. Okay. Let me think. Okay. I'll cross out brownies. Cake or cookies? I think cake. What about a drink to wash all that down? Milk, water, tea, wine, lemonade, juice, or beer. I'm okay. First of all, if you don't drink anything at all with your dinner, like not even after, I don't know, it's a little strange. It's a tad bit odd to me. Generally, first of all, where's the cocktail? That's what I really need to know. But I guess we can go with a wine. Where do you normally get your milkshakes from? Ooh, oh yeah, Cold Stone is for ballers only. Honestly, let me think. Well, mainly Cookout, which I know that's not a thing everywhere. Cookout, y'all be sleeping on Arby's, but the shakes, fantastic, and the ice cream machine ain't never broke. If I'm not near any of that, weirdly enough, this one might be a sleeper, but Quick Trip, the QT. You know why? Because they'll make it right there. You can customize it however you want, whatever flavor ice cream. You can add different swirls and stuff to it, and they literally pull out a blender and make it right there. Like you can always order it. But yeah, as far as like fast food joints, I'd probably go Cookout just because they're the most reliable. There's not a Cold Stone all that close to me right now, which is a little sad because Cold Stone is buzzing. Ooh, they got that brownie sundae. Oh my god, it's been a while since I've been to a Cold Stone. Oh Jay, you put it in my brains. Now I gotta I want to hit up all the old dessert spots though lately. I don't know if y'all have been to Crumble. Have y'all been to the Crumble cookies? Because when I tell you that chocolate chip, like yes, they have different flavors in rotation every week, I believe. And they have all the cookies they serve are giant. But like that chocolate chip cookie, so good, and they serve it warm, and oh yeah, question of the day: what is your favorite springtime activity? Mine is mine is celebrating my birthday. It's in May. Do I have a favorite thing that's just for spring? I know that people start to do more of the gatherings and stuff, like social gatherings, so that's fun. I don't know that I have an activity tied to spring specifically. I enjoy the warmer weather. Oh yeah. I enjoy that it's warm enough to, pull my sandals back out, pull out a short pant every now and then. Tanja, welcome in, and congrats on being first. Dim's the rules over here. You got to claim it if you want it. Them's the breaks. Yeah. Hey, you gotta check. It never hurts to check. But yeah. Hitting up the park with kids. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So yeah, hopefully everyone has had themselves a lovely Monday. Oh, Lord, I'm still in this quiz. Okay, what am I doing before going to sleep? The last thing, an outdoor concert. Ugh. I mean, that sounds fun, but if it rains and then now I feel like, I don't know, the framing of it being the last thing I'm going to sleep, I mean, I guess a concert would be about right, but concerts are great, but like logistically they are a pain in the butt. God, all the lines, and I know I'm gonna want something to eat when I get there, so now I gotta wait in that line, and Lord knows I probably have to go to the bathroom before and after because I'm old. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But anyway. Okay, watching TV, an outdoor concert, reading, writing, FaceTiming family, listening to music, knitting, or I'm asleep already. I guess watching TV. Okay, so, flying a kite. You should start flying kites. I know it's not just for kids. It's really fun. You know what? I can't think of the last time I did do that. That does sound fun. Okay. All right, so we have 3 quizzes in total today. So we have 2 more. Let's see, so they're gonna basically try to guess if we are a hot or cold weather person based off of our choices. So for those who are new here, we often start out with a good old quiz or 2 or 3. Okay. I'm gonna drop the link in chat in case you want to quiz along with me. Okay, chat out on your favorite foods for a day and I'll accurately guess if you're a hot or cold weather person. Okay, let's see if they get it right. We gonna see. Okay. Start the day off with a good breakfast. Y'all know how I feel about breakfast food. Avocado toast. I don't really fuck with avocado like that. It's weird, like my brain doesn't know what to do with it because it's green. So my mind goes, oh, this is a vegetable. Even though I know honeydew and grapes can be green. Spare me. My brain goes, oh, this is a vegetable. And then you like eat it and it has this like sweetness to it. I just, and the fact that it like is mushy, no. Thank you. Okay, anyway, cereal. Oh, croissants, French toast. Okay, French toast. I love French toast. It is the best. It is the best of the breakfast breads, in my opinion. Okay, time for lunch. Okay, salad, nope. Hard pass. Pasta, steak, or grilled salmon. Okay, if you're having steak for lunch, what kind of life are you living and can I live it with you? Because what? That's so, steak just feels very dinnery. I'm probably and I do love a good salmon. But that also feels dinnery to me. Pasta. Well, I guess all of these could technically be for either meal, but anyway, snack. A chocolate bar, Oreos. Okay. I need charcuterie board. Oh my god, wait a minute. Potato chips. Okay, so I'm not that big on chips, so that one's the first out. But I have a charcuterie board sounds appealing, but that's just gonna make me want wine with it. And I feel like this is on a typical day. In my mind, this is a work day, so I want to stay away from that. Like, yes, you can have a charcuterie board without wine, but would I? No, why? For what? For what reason? I'll probably go chocolate bar. I do love Oreos, but I feel like dunking Oreos, because I'm not about to eat Oreos without dunking them. It's not going to happen, and they must be double stuffed. No more, no less. Because yes, I have tried the triple stuff or whatever, more stuff, whatever they call those, and it was too much. It was too much for your blurred. So yeah, double stuff is it for me. If I'm going to be dunking Oreos, I usually am watching something, anime or just binging a show or something like that. That's usually my preferred habitat for dunking Oreos. And no, I do not use a glass. I usually go with a shallow, like one of the smaller Tupperware dishes that I have, so that you don't have to use as much milk, because we gotta save that milk now. Gotta save that milk. Anyway, continuing with the tasty dinner. Oh my God, look at the cheese on that pizza and the steam coming off it. Good God. Whew, that looks good. Okay. I don't really care for shrimp tacos. Well, I'm also iffy on shrimp. I'm very sometimesy on shrimp. So like it's usually gonna be a no for me, but every now and again I'll go for it. What is this for? Dinner? Okay. Vegetable. I'm assuming they meant soup or spaghetti. Do I want spaghetti? Oh, I do love a good soup though. Look at that pizza. Good God. Yeah, off the strength of that picture alone, we're going with pizza. Whew. Okay. Finish the meal with a great dessert. Strawberry shortcake, cheesecake, fruit tarts, or edible cookie. First of all, I'm glad that cookie dough has been made to be eaten now. Like there's like the safe form, but let me be very clear, that is not going to stop me from eating the dangerous one either. Why? Because I live on the wild side. No, but I am really glad that that edible cookie dough is a thing now. Gotta be safe out here in these streets. Okay, so strawberry shortcake is out for me. I'm not typically a fan of like shortcakes, most shortbread things. I do like a good fruit tart every now and again. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sure this quiz is not helping. I'm gonna go with cheesecake. Hopefully you can find your way to some vittles with the swiftness. All right, grab a drink to wash it all down. Lemonade, water, soda, or apple juice. Well, I know Jay would pick apple juice. That's his jam. I think I'll go lemonade. Yeah. Ooh, a midnight snack to end the day. Ooh, aren't we being naughty? Let's see. You glad you ate? Don't it look good? Look at these damn cookies. Oh my God. Like, this is painful. Oh God, look at that brownie. Not them throwing the fruit salad. First of all, if I'm eating a midnight snack, I don't have no business eating that late anyway. I'm not finna eat a fruit salad. Get that out of here. I'm not doing it. Okay, let me see. Ice cream is fine, but like just vanilla ice cream, like, like if I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put vanilla ice cream either with the chocolate chip cookies or the brownies, All right, Tansha, yeah, brownies. Yeah, let's do it. They got me. Hot weather. They nailed it. You're more like a golden retriever person who can't live without sunny days. Outside activities like going to the beach or morning walks are your thing. Well, I do love the beach. I do indeed love the beach. No, not the corner piece. Okay, you can have the corners. Matter of fact, you can have all the edges. I will take the middle. I want the ooey. I want that ooey gooey center. Okay. You like warm weather, but don't really like. That's fair. That's fair. You know why? It'd be like mad bees and ants and all kind of stuff. You know, I like the warm weather. I like outdoors also in limited capacities. Um, let me think. I'd probably do morning walks. Matter of fact, I've been thinking about like doing them. It's so damn cold in the morning, and I guess I could do it later in the day. Um, but you know, it's whatever. Uh, okay. You missed the cold. It's too damn humid in Miami. Well, you got cold weather. Okay. Yeah, I think Tantra mentioned having that brownie pan somewhere. Um that she actually does have that. So, you know, she can corner and edge it up. So, you know. All right, onward to our last and final quiz. Oh yeah, so brownie edges pan. So yeah, there's a few different ones as you can see here. All right, give me images. Yeah, so you got like the little snake guy. Got this one that just has like the individual squares. Looks like this one is a rectangle pan that just has like a grid you can lift in. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you've got options now. You've got options. There are, as you can see, a plethora of ways to make it happen. But anyway, all right. So let's see. Okay, yeah. So this is our final quiz of the day, and that is, where should you book your next trip? All right, and I'm dropping that link in chat right now in case you want to quiz along. Okay. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, most outdoor places I'm kind of like, I'm not really all that big into hiking and stuff, but put me on a beach, listen, I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna be in the water, I'm gonna be making sand castles. I'm doing it up. I'm doing it up. Okay. All right, so this last one, spend big dollars on a spring break trip. Y'all remember spring break? Remember getting just time off of school and stuff? Like, I think that was probably one of the hardest transitional things of coming into adulthood is like, what do you mean there's no more spring and or summer break or winter break? Like, what? Why? Giving that up was tough. That, oh man. Anyway, overall, what kind of vacation are you going for? Tropical, winter wonderland, a resort, cultural, camping, or city? A city could be fun. I do love a good tropical, but honestly, I feel like the resort life might be for me. Let me just sprinkle a little bouge on it, just a little bit. I've actually never done a resort vacation before. I've done cruises, but never just like flown directly out. But that will be changing in the near future. Anyway, what continent are you thinking? Sorry, Antarctica. You didn't make the cut. Yeah, okay. So the winter wonderland choice from the previous one, like the way I would almost never do that. The only reason I would do a trip like that, it would be to see the Northern Lights. And I've heard that there are these cabins you can rent. I believe they're up in Michigan to go see them. And there's also just like like very little light pollution out that way. So even if you don't necessarily see the northern lights, you can just like look at all the stars. So I like that. Anyway, what continent? North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, or Australia? Ooh, you got somewhere you actually want to visit? Okay, okay. Where will you be staying? Airbnb, a host family, camping in a tent or RV, a hotel, an all-inclusive resort, or a lodge. Ideally, an all-inclusive resort. What activity sounds most fitting for your vacation? Rock climbing, spa day. Spa day is certainly winning so far. Lounging on the beach, skiing or snowboarding, exploring the city, or shopping. Okay, first of all, I don't I do love to shop on vacations, but it's kind of lately, okay, I love shopping, period. Let's get that out of the way. But I don't know. Shopping in vacation destinations, honestly, it's kind of gotten old. Unless I'm like really in a place where I could go to like when we went to the Bahamas, there was this market area where like locals were selling things that they had like made. That was really cool. But honestly, in a lot of your typical like tourist shops, like the pens, the t-shirts, I'm gonna get a magnet for sure, but for the most part, it doesn't appeal to me that much anymore. I wish eating was an option. That's why you chose exploring the city for, yeah, you know what? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I do love a good beach lounge. Yes. Pick a travel essential. Sunglasses, sunscreen, water bottle, sneakers, journal, or camera. Sunscreen. Namibia. Ooh. Interesting. Still a little research, shall we? Vacation. Let me see. Travel. Let me think. Namibia. Tourism. Attractions. Oh, they got the prices. Look, they not playing. Okay. Oh, wow. Hold on. Private 3-day. Let's see here. A 3-day tour in the desert. 3-day safari. Okay. Half-day Sandwich Harbor. First of all, Sandwich Harbor sounds like my kind of deal. Like, we're here to eat? Then yes, sign me up. Sign me up. Scenic Sandwich Harbor. Oh wow, look at that photo. Oh, it don't want to load. Okay. Anyway. 7-day Northern Namibia and Skeleton Coast camping safari. Ooh, you lost me at camping. But okay, so seems like tours of the harbor, safaris. That's pretty cool. Ooh, a kayaking tour. I would love that. Okay, anyway. Very cool. Okay, where'd you get SOC? I'm very curious to know. Yep, I got Namibia. Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah. That was my quiz result. You got, oh, Portugal. Cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know the seafood out there is apparently amazing. I've heard wonderful things. So, you know, here's to all of us taking the trip of our dreams someday. Cheers. But yeah. All right, so next up, we are going to look at our food video of the day. Now, since the weather is warming up, you know, more people are gonna start having like gatherings and stuff. So, you know, I thought it would be fun, you know, because here in the South, like when you go to someone's house, or maybe this is just a general politeness thing, I don't know, whatever. You bring something, you bring a dish over, or you know, if you can't cook like that, bring some napkins or some sodas or some bottles, you know. You bring something over. It's kind of rude to show up empty-handed most of the time. So, okay. No drink. No drink. Go get some water. Go get some water right now. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so I saw this video and I thought it'd be interesting. So these are 9 mind-blowing party food rings that they've made. Go get you some more. Go get some more water. Okay. All right, let's see. So, you know, feel free to chime in if you would or would not make and or eat this. You know, we don't hold back when it comes to these food videos. Give me your full opinion and I will give you mine also and as well. Okay, let's do it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you pulling up to like the cookout or anything like it don't have to be, because you know that comes with a certain seriousness to it. This could just be, oh, my friend's having us over for movie night or whatever, anime watch night. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what they got for us. Let me get this volume going. Not Japanese. Why are the subtitles in Japanese? What? Is the video in Japanese? Let's find out together. Sorry, that was really loud. As it rolls, mozzarella, pepperoni cheese. Basil. Is this gonna be like a pizza? Salami. And ham? Good. Okay, no, y'all are doing too much. I'm out officially. No, this is too much. It's a lot of meat. That's a lot of meat. It does look good though. SOC's like, nope, I'm still with it. A ham ring. Okay. Pizza dough. Chicken, bacon, mozzarella. Ooh. Okay. Alfredo sauce. Not with your hands. Ugh. If you're gonna mix with your hands, put on some gloves. I like it though. Like this looks great. This looks fantastic. I would absolutely, yeah. I'm here for this one, but get some gloves next time. Hot dogs. What is happening? Oh, like picking the blankets. Okay. I suppose. Although honestly, if you're making pig in the blankets, skip the hot dogs, get the little cocktail sausage weenies. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, the bundt cakes. Yeah, you can use it for a lot of stuff. Bundt pans. I guess chili dog bread ring. That's not a bad idea. I'm not mad at that. Ooh, we got some buffalo chicken. Yes. Now on that one. Oh hell yeah, I'm in. I'm in. Sign me TF up. Put some ranch in the middle, and you know what time it is. Yes. Yes. Yeah, corn dog. I'd rather corn dogs over chili dogs too. The idea isn't bad though. I'm not mad at the overall. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pulled up with the ranch. You can use it to. You can use it for dipping and for dipping. Ow. Just say it. Looks really good. Ooh, okay, the cheese pull. Oh, it's like a bloomin' onion. Interesting. Okay. That was creative. That was creative. Cream cheese, parmesan. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of cheese. Hope you ain't lactose intolerant. Oh, spinach artichoke dip. I'm in. Oh, yeah. You better brush on that butter. Ooh. Yes. Oh, look at that. Oh my god. Okay, we got chicken. Red onion. Interesting. Oh, barbecue sauce. I like where it's going. Low key, yeah. The buffalo chicken one did look really good. There are definitely some I like better than others, but the buffalo one did look